Hi, this is Ronnie, and welcome to Scraptember. I am so tickled to be part of this. This is the Scrappy sisters, Katie and Jess, and Laura Alberts, and I'm a guest today, and so is Galaxy Girl Creations, who is Janet Fritz. But anyway, the prompt is stitching, so I'll be stitching on my layout, and I'll be scrapping that picture of my two great nieces. They are cousins and yeah, they're at the park, and it is autumn, so I'll be using autumn colors for their picture, even though they have little sleeveless dresses on and it looks pretty warm that day. But a lot of our days are in the autumn. It has to take a while to make up its mind to go from summer to fall. I use that template, which I cut out the last time I did a heart thing for Mixed Media Frenzy. This is the center part of it that I used as a template. I thought, well, it's already made, so I just drew around it and cut it out. And this is Echo Park. Well, part is Echo Park, part is Simple Stories. I think there's like 7 or 8 collections altogether here, but they all go together pretty decently, so I'm using them together. I did trim my picture down and I made it 4x4, I believe is what it is. And I didn't want to have to do more stitching than I needed to, so I am marking where my picture is going to go. So I determined that ahead of time, and I am going to make little holes all the way around the heart and the outside of the yellow, well, the outer edge, right at the edge of the yellow. I'm going to go all the way around and frame it too. So I'm going to do quite a bit of stitching. It did take me an hour and a half. I thought, I'm going to time this since I am doing quite a bit of stitching. But you got to see the other gals' layouts. Oh, they are so awesome. They did a lot of stitching, way more than what I'm going to do on my layout. So make sure you check out their layouts, which you probably already have. I probably last stop, because I think I'll probably be on the bottom because I'm getting mine done a little late. They've got theirs done already. I couldn't make up my mind what I was going to stitch and how I was going to stitch. They had cut files they stitched. I do have one cut file, but it isn't made for stitching, so I'm just going to do my own. Uh, oh, I wanted my title to be We Love Fall. On that sticker sheet, it is I Love Fall. But I'm going to use some alphas that's on one of the sticker sheets. I have 2 there, and they're really close to the same color as the fall. They're not perfect, but they're pretty close. So I'm going to just change it to We Love Fall. I guess that I will never get used for anything because it don't actually go with the other alphas, and it's just going to sit there. But that's all right. I love that the fall has alphas that are uppercase and lowercase. I think it looks cute. And so I lay the heart down, and then I think, well, I already done a bunch of stitching on here. And I love cross stitching on a layout and adding it just here and just there, a few stitches, maybe 2 or 3 at a time. And I'm going to just add 1 stitch to the heart. If it wasn't so small, I might add in more. But I'm going to add 1 like it needs a stitch to hold it onto the page. But it'll coordinate with the other 2 sets of stitching I have on the whole layout. So the heart's going to be just back a little bit, so I'll have room for my stitch there. And of course, I am going to use the same color. I wasn't really wanting to use this color. The color I wanted to use is probably the closest color would be the dots on the heart. But I only had 1 skein of it. And I wasn't sure if 1 would be enough since I had so much stitching planned. And it was enough. If I had known, I would have went ahead and used the other color. But since I didn't, once I got done with the stitching, I liked it really well. So I'm kind of glad I went ahead and used this color because it just brings out the teal here and there that's already in the layout. And that little sticker there, it's a little bitty phrase sticker. and it says what a cute pair. And I thought about putting it up there on the heart, and it's going to lay there for a good while, but I'm going to change my mind. And you seen me get those pumpkins. I laid them there, and I thought, oh, no, that's just not going to work. I want more. And y'all know I love flowers. Oh, and this was a work. You'd think the stitching would be a work of love on this layout, but no, the flowers are, because those dies you can do one at a time, otherwise they don't cut well. So I'm going to cut a whole bunch of flowers out. The little tiny white ones are going to be single layers, and then well, it's kind of a peachy orange. They're going to be double layered, and then I'm going to punch out centers for them, and I'm going to punch out centers for the little white ones. And it's really cream colored with a little tiny bit darker cream colored dot on them. They're not really white. It's the same paper I used behind the photo. And then I'm going to make what kind of looks like a sunflower. I mean, kind of. I'm not going to say 100%. I think my petals are too fat to actually be a sunflower, but that's what I'm going to portray. Anyway, those brown circles there have little tiny holes all in it, and they remind me of sunflowers, so I'm going to use my punch and punch out a flower for it. I could have used the flower that came in the die set, but then I thought, man, that's take a whole lot longer. So I am just going to use the punch, which is super quick. That's why I like punches so well, and punch a bunch out. And the paper that I'm using is a tone on tone, and it has little polka dots in it also. And I'm going to use all I can use out of that sheet, and then I'm going to dig another sheet out of the paper pad. But I knew there was one more sheet, and cut a few more so I'd have enough for my layout. And I did use them all. So it's a good thing that I punched that many out. And they are double layered. And then the dark brown, like I said, it's got little teeny tiny holes all in it. And I didn't want the yellow to show behind it. So I took I will get some craft paper out and just cut some 1/2-inch circles to go behind them. And yeah, there's the craft paper now. And you might be thinking, oh boy, she's punching out a lot. But I wanted to make sure I had plenty since it's so quick to do. But yeah, there I'm just putting them beneath the holes so it'll be dimensional and have the craft color underneath. And then I'm using my Rusty Hinge ink, which y'all know I love to, and go around each one of the flowers. And except for the little almost white colored ones, I am going to go on all the rest though. And I did consider going on them, but then I thought, well, I've got white a couple of more places in the layout, and I wanted them to show up kind of like baby's breath. You know how great that looks in a bouquet? And that's why I didn't go ahead and ink them in the Rusty Hinge, even though I do love that color. And of course I needed some leaves, so instead of them being green though, I'm going to use the teal paper that I used to back the picture in and punch them out. And then I'm going to put some Rusty Hinge on that too, just to give them a more vintage kind of look. And they won't be such a bright turquoise either. And yeah, now all I'm going to do is just place everything on the layout. All the work's done. But like I said, the die cutting for all of them, because I did cut out quite a bit of that, did take quite a while. I'm looking on this sticker sheet. I thought, well, I need something down in that corner. And I remembered there was this cute little squirrel. And it's kind of like a dusty teal is what it looks to me like. And he's there, and he's just as cute as he can be. So I thought, well, I'm going to put him down in that corner and have him like he's eating nuts. And yeah, he's plaid though, so he is a little bit different. But I'm going to also put a couple of little birds in my layout too. There were like 2 on the sticker sheet, and they each go in a different direction, which I love. I don't like everything going in the same direction. So I will use two of them. Some of the flowers I'm putting on foam tape, and of course some I'm just adhering either straight down to the paper or on top of other flowers. But I wanted to add dimension. I love dimension on my layout. And flowers is a really good way to do it. And so I am just putting them in the cluster and making sure there's no little gaps, that there's like a whole little bush there. And yeah, that's all I'm doing there. Nothing hard at all. I'm just, oh, and I did decide to get that What a Cute Pair and tuck it down there in my bouquet. You know how they have like a card sticking in the bouquet who sent it to you? I thought that'll look cute tucked down in there. And of course, I've already layered it. And I'm looking in the ephemera, and I think that's We Are Family ephemera. And like I said, I got several collections here. I think at least 6. And I probably pulled something from about all of them. But it's leftovers from Kit's collections, over a few years. And I just put them in my iris case. And then when I get ready to use them, I pull from whatever. And this one says, these are the days, yeah, when they're tiny. And those girls, if you look at them, the one on the left is quite a bit tinier than the other one. And there's only like a little over 2 months difference in their age. And the one on the right, which neither one is 3 yet in that picture. They're both still 2. And the one on the right, they're 3 now. But the one on the right went to the doctor, and the doctor says she's the size of a 5-year-old. So she took after the tall side of the family, and the one on the left took after the short side of the family. That's the side I took after. But I thought I'd put that tag up there, and I didn't need the whole thing because that'd make it entirely too tall. So I cut the bottom part off because I thought I could use that for something else. Anyway, it says the love of a family, and you will see that it is a little crooked. And I did that on purpose. I wanted it to look like it was just kind of tucked in there, because I thought you could still read family. It wouldn't be hard at all to read that it's family. And I liked the angle to tuck it, to the right, just angled it to the right, just a tiny bit. But I'm going to put the flowers around it. And I'm not going to do the birds till after I do the little cluster in the upper right hand corner. And I thought I'd just angle everything, have a angle layout, and go all the way up to the right. I did think about doing the triangle thing and get the space over there. But the more I looked at it, the more I thought I think I just want to do the angle instead. And yeah, I'm about done. Yeah, see, I turned it around. I'm done with that. This is where I pull the birds out. And I did go ahead and pull them both out. And I'm putting them on cardstock as I cut them out, because I had taken the white off the outside. And I'm just going to kind of tuck them in where they're sitting instead of standing. You're not going to see their feet because I didn't bother getting all the white off down that part. So I just went ahead and tucking them both. I am putting the second one on foam tape though. And looking at this, I was thinking I'd like to have some sequins, but I couldn't think of any I wanted to use. I didn't really, since it was earth tones and all this, I was thinking I really don't want something really bright and glittery. So instead, I'm going to punch with my 1/8 inch punch, which is pretty tiny. And I'm going to punch a bunch of little dots out, and I'm going to scatter them on my layout like I would sequins. And so, yeah, they're going to be here, there, and everywhere. And I had to be careful. I almost put some behind the little squirrel, but then I thought those would look like droppings behind him. So I didn't want to do it. 2 or 3 times I had to catch myself to keep from putting them there. And then I almost did it behind one of the birds, and I thought, no. And so I put them above the bird instead. But one of the birds looks like it's got one close to it. But it don't look like it's a dropping because it's the way it is. I guess I didn't pay attention when I did that one. But the squirrel I was careful with. Oh, but that's it. That's my layout. I'm done with it. But I want to thank the Scrappy sisters and Laura for inviting me, because I just love to be part of Hops. And you see the links down there below to their channels, and also to Janet Fritz, who is Galaxy Girl Creations, and see what they did for stitching. It's going to be awesome. Take my word for it. I've already seen them. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. If you leave a comment below, I'll get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I'd love to have you subscribe. And those of you who already are, thank you so much. But have a happy, scrappy week. Take care and stay safe. Bye.